Alrighty then, hello folks all over the world. Welcome back to BSG Online number 7. As Zelda mentioned during her outro, I'm the new host, I'm Zonorous. Hello, welcome. I will be here for this run and the next run, which coincidentally are the last 2 runs of the marathon. Speaking of runs, oh yeah, by the way, first, this is a charity marathon, by the way. We're raising money for Mind. You can find the link to donate below the stream. Would be very appreciated. We're very close to 1,700 euros raised for Mind. And yeah, with that, I'll give it over to Aeshmah, my good friend, with Onimusha, Warlords. Take it away. Good luck.
Alright, hello everyone. As John just mentioned, I'm Aeshmah. I'm gonna be running Onimusha Warlords in the 80% Ultimate category for you, which as you can think of as a kind of New Game Plus deal of the run. You might have seen this run during ESA just a couple of weeks ago, and because of that, we're gonna do a little bit of an opposite thing here, because back then we did play on the Japanese voice track of the game. This time, we're gonna do it in English, because obviously I don't have Bowie the Hero with me for commentary and absolutely stunning live VA performance, so we're actually gonna have a look, or have a listen rather, to the English voice track and see how that compares to the Japanese one. I guess you will like Guildenstern. And as far as I know, we actually met the incentive for the special outfits. Just making sure, is that correct?
Yes, good sir, that is correct.
Perfect.
We even overshot the goal by like 20 euros.
That is cool, because you will probably like the special outfits. I was just gonna go ahead and throw in the special outfit for Kaede on top of that, because you guys only donated for Samanosuke's outfit, but I guess we can treat ourselves to both of them. And with that,
How generous.
we are just gonna go ahead and get this run going in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, as I said before, this will be the ultimate run of the game, which means that we have basically, well, a very, very powerful sword right from the get-go, as you will see in just a moment. And these are the outfits. This is what you guys donated for. I hope you enjoyed. Because there is no way I can change this during the run. This is what we will look at for the rest of this run.
Understand.
And just to make the outfit complete, we will put on the hood as well, if Samanosuke actually lets me do that. There we go. Pressed the wrong button at first. But yeah, this is the panda outfit. You unlock this by doing various things during the run. I actually forgot what exactly you have to do. I think you have to collect some items. It's been a while. Do keep in mind that this is the PS4 remaster of the game. It originally released for the PlayStation 2 back in 2001, I believe, which is quite a while ago. And the remaster released for the PlayStation 4 in 2018, I think. And, you know, it basically made the game a little bit prettier than it was before, but even though it still looked pretty good, even back in the PlayStation 2 era. Also, we cannot skip these cutscenes. We can't skip the actual CG animated ones, but all the in-game or in-engine cutscenes we cannot skip. So you will definitely get to enjoy, you know, all the voice acting, all the, well, cheesy early 2000s Capcom voice acting in all of its glory.
So much since you left the castle.
So let's give it a listen.
Flee while you can, you worthless bug! Useless!
So the thing that you have to keep in mind here is, well, first of all, obviously normally you wouldn't have the panda outfit on. Second of all, this sword that we are carrying at the moment is the Bishamon sword. Normally in the game you would have to go through some very arduous challenges to actually be able to get it. But once you do, you basically win, because this sword basically kills everything except bosses in one hit. So it's very powerful. So it always makes me smile just a little bit at this cutscene, because, you know, Samanosuke goes all in with a sword strike against the big demon there. with the Bishoman sword, and it does absolutely nothing, because normally he would only have his petty little katana to do that. But in this cutscene, it just doesn't matter if he has the Bishoman sword or not. It just does nothing against this boss. So, you know, it's always a little bit funny to watch that.
Current power, you are not capable of destroying demons.
But yeah, catching up on the story, this is a semi-historic game, I want to say. You know, obviously all the supernatural stuff that is happening with the demons and the Oni here is made up, obviously. However, it follows some established historical events that took place. Like, obviously, we have Nobunaga, who is trying to unite all of Japan with a little bit of warmongering and stuff. We are playing as Samanosuke Akechi, who is a fictional character. However, he's kind of based on another person in the Akechi clan who I forgot the name of, sorry. Who kind of basically started to oppose Nobunaga's rule. And we get to that a little bit more in the story later. But for now, we now have the Oni Gauntlet bestowed upon us by the clan of the ogres, which also oppose all the demons. So now we actually have the power to actually go ahead and fight the demons. You know, even without the Bishoman sword, but obviously, since this is the ultimate difficulty of the game, or category of the run rather, we're gonna use the Bishoman sword to its full extent. And yes, this game has a ludicrous amount of cutscenes in the beginning, where we just go like 2 screens and we have another cutscene that we have to watch. So yeah, there is a lot of you know, story time in the beginning here. Also, one thing that they changed between the PlayStation 2 original and the PlayStation 4 remaster is that you not only have the tank controls, as you would know from things like Resident Evil, but you also can use the analog stick to control your character. And this makes it so that movement with this game is very peculiar, because it really depends on which movement you're gonna use. Like, if you just go straight during a screen, or you have to, you know, be able to take a wide curve around the corners, you will generally use the digipad to do that. However, if you have to turn tight corners, like for example, if you go through a room and you have to immediately go to the right instead of straight up, you will use the analog stick to do that. And that is why you will see me constantly switch between the pad and the stick in order to make my movements. Since it also takes me a little while to switch between the two, you will obviously see me finicking around between that. So if you see Samanosuke just spasm out for no particular reason, that is because I'm switching control methods. But for now, you know, we've killed our first couple demons, so we're just gonna try and make our way over to the castle where Princess Yuki is being held prisoner, which actually basically kickstarts the whole story, because she has been kidnapped and Samanosuke, being the good samurai that he is trying to save the princess from, well, the demons now. In order to do that, we will be equipped with a lot of special items during our journey. And the most important of these are 3 elemental swords, the first of which we will get in just a second here, which will be the Shiden, the Thunder Elemental Sword. It's basically a basic katana, just that it has a thunder magic built in, basically. And you would normally use this for a lot of the run if you were playing the any percent category of the game. However, since we're playing again on Ultimate, we're just going to use the Bishoman sword for all of our needs. And this puzzle actually really made me remember that I do not have my puzzle solutions open, so I hope I can actually remember how to solve all these puzzles coming up. God damn it, should have thought of that. Anyway, you can see this growth on this door, and these basically act as barriers to impede our progress. Now, normally you would have to equip the corresponding sword to be able to go through these. However, the Bishoman sword counts as basically encompassing all 3 elemental powers. So as long as you have the Bishoman sword equipped, you can basically just go through all of these doors unimpeded. Now, the one thing to keep in mind, though, is even though the Fisherman's Sword counts for all powers, we still have to actually go ahead and pick up the corresponding swords. So, for example, I was able to go through this blue door because I have the Shiden. Now, I can't go through the red door at the entrance to the castle because I need Korn, the firepower, to go through there. But since I don't have Korn, the firepower yet, I have to get that first before the Fisherman's Sword actually allows me entry through that door. And here we have the first boss of the game. You might remember this guy from the intro cutscene, and now we are basically gonna beat him to pulp. So we just wait for him to do his move, so that he gets animation locked, and then we'll just go behind him, use our magic attack 3 times, and yes, this 360-degree attack counts as a magic attack, and he's dead, so GG's, dude. Was nice knowing ya.
Monster. It is time for you to go back to the underworld.
So this will basically be how, you know, the ultimate run of this game will go, but before I explain any more, up comes Guildenstern, and this is why you put on the English voice acting, so enjoy this.
Sweet, beautiful, lovely, the dripping blood, and what's this? Oh, a liver. What's that smell? Who's there? A human? How disappointing.
Face me, demon!
Who do you think you are talking to? I haven't seen one as foolish as you since that, Nobunaga.
Nobunaga?
I operated on and resurrected that pitiful Nobunaga after he was killed in Okihazuma. He then made a pact with the demons and pledged his eternal loyalty to serve us forever as our slave.
No!
Oh, yes, it is indeed true. Now, let me show you my most recent creation. Go, Ronaldo! Bite the belly of that maggot and feast upon his bloody flesh!
So yeah, if you saw the run at ESA, Bowie the Hero did an absolutely smashing performance of Guildenstern here, and well, now that you've heard the original voice acting for this character, I guess you can make your own mind who did a better job. But yeah, Guildenstern just has this really over-the-top voice acting, and it's just glorious to listen to. He's a very fun character, like he appears in some of the other Onimusha games as well. So yeah, he's kind of a mainstay, and for good reason, I believe. Anyway, now that we have Cohen, the fire sword, we can actually make our way through these red groves, so we can now go back to the main entrance of the castle and finally get in to continue our quest. Now, I will pick up a few medicines along the way. These obviously regenerate your HP. And, oh, goddamn bastard. These are basically for safety reasons. If you were to go for a world record run, you would probably not pick them up because obviously you lose your time. But since this is a marathon, I want to have a bit of a safety with me, because we basically won't be picking up any HP increases or things like that, so it is very easy for us to die later on in the run.
Stop! Let me go!
Quiet!
What is going on here?
Stop! Huh?
Who are you? And what do you want with that boy?
I should ask you the same thing. You are not working for Saito clan, are you? Wait. Can you be Samanosuke Akechi? Yes, you are. I cannot believe you are here of all places. I am a servant of the Oda clan. My name is Tokichiro Kinoshita.
This man will eventually conquer the world under the name Hideyoshi Toyotomi.
What is a servant of the Oda clan doing
Again,
here?
this is a pretty important historical figure that actually existed, and he will actually make more of an impression in the later Onimusha titles, believe it or not.
Would welcome a great samurai like yourself.
But for now, he is serving Lord Nobunaga and with that the demons, and he's, you know, trying to get Samanosuke on their side.
However, I will not give up yet.
Obviously not working quite as intended,
Shall meet again.
because Samanosuke is, you know, quite iron-willed. He serves nobody, or but himself. And justice, so to speak. But yeah, coming up is basically one of my favorite cutscenes in the game, just because of its silliness. Because watch very closely, you know, Kaede and this little boy came from this direction, right? And we came from behind us.
No! You want to hurt
Keep that in
me
mind
like that,
for the
samurai.
end of this cutscene.
That is not true. Please, tell me your name.
I am Yumamaru.
Yumimaru, you must tell me. What did that samurai want with you?
Why should I know?
Fine, then why are you here? Who brought you here?
So Yuramaru just went back the way he came.
Go after him while I look for Princess Yuki.
I will.
Kaede goes back that way. We are supposed to separate ways, but we will also immediately just follow them around. So, yeah. Great way to go, guys. This is how you separate to look for missing people. But yeah, that aside, we will make our way through the castle here to pick up a couple quest items because, you know, if you haven't picked it up by yet, this game is very similar to Resident Evil in that you have these pre-rendered camera angles that you have to get through. You have to pick up some quest items to solve puzzles and some other things, and that is, you know, by design because this actually started out as a kind of Resident Evil clone. However, then it went into its own thing, obviously. But, you know, the basics are still there. Speaking of puzzles, coming up is the trap floor. And why it's called that way? Well, we'll find out in just a minute.
I've been
Also,
able to uncover Yumimaru's identity.
it was pretty
He's the
quick,
son of
Kaede.
a farmer.
What?
4 years ago, his parents were killed at war. Princess Yuki found him crying alone and brought him to the castle.
I see.
And I also heard that Princess Yuki raised him as if he were her own brother.
So he stole his way into the castle to save Princess Yuki. Why then is Tokichiro after Yumimaru?
Something seems to be going on. What?
Oh no, we're trapped. Thankfully, we have this very convenient
Samanosuke,
lever
we must find a way out.
Yes.
that we can pull to open the barrier. So let's see what this does. Oh, it opens the way. Well, that is just really convenient, isn't it? Oh. So yeah, all we have to do here is pull the levers in the correct order in order to progress. However, one cheeky thing we can do here, you can see the treasure chest in the corner right there. If you go with Kaede and pull on the third lever here to open the way forward, you can actually use Samanosuke to open this treasure chest, and we actually can find the Holy Armor, which is an armor upgrade that raises our defense. And I'll actually go ahead and put that on just for more safety reasons. Normally you wouldn't be picking that up, but it makes the run just a little bit more safe. Okay, I gotta pay attention here because this is a randomly generated puzzle. Well, we have to make our way across here. This is one of a very bad layout, actually. So I have to be very careful how I maneuver around here. Because I can actually kill off my other character, and that would be a game over. So obviously I don't want that to happen. Yeah, this is very slow, but it should be safe from here on out. And we can make our way over. This is actually the only puzzle in the game that is really randomly generated. Obviously, you can have good setups, you can have very bad setups. This was one of the worst ones, I want to say, because it took us like 5 movements, if I counted correctly, to get through it. I think the minimum you can get is like 2 or 3. And as you can see, every time you step on one of the tiles, it changes your control. And that just loses you quite a bit of time. So that is a bit of an RNG that can happen this one. And this will be the last puzzle of the trap floor. This is actually timed. If you don't make it in time, Samanosuke dies, and this is another game over. And it is painful, because we have to put these things in the right directions, and grabbing these little pieces is just really awkward to do. So bear with me here while I try to make this happen. Alright, here we go. So So what you have to do here, you have to hold down, or you basically use the digipad to move between the tiles, then you have to hold down X to actually move one of them. And it's kind of, well, up to luck, I want to say, if the selector grabs the little tiles so you can actually move them. It's really, well, more finicky than it may look, so I'm glad that we got through here, and with that we have completed the trap floor and we can continue on with the game. And our search for Mamoru, because he is still missing.
We are safe now. I will go search for clues.
Fine.
Yes, do go search for clues, because we obviously need more of those. Well, we go ahead, and after we have gone up, we will immediately continue going down again, because there are more quest items here that we need to actually continue our way. So after we've gone down, we immediately go back up again. There's a lot of ups and downs in this game. And this is another thing that, you know, is kind of old at this point and antiquated, that you actually have to go to the menu in order to use your quest items. So you actually have to face whatever it is that you have to put these quests into. So if you're just a little bit off with the character, you actually cannot use your quest item, and you just look like an idiot, because you have to go out of the menu, reposition yourselves, and then use it again. So yeah, nowadays this is like a little bit easier, because you can just use the quest items right then and there where they're needed. But you know, it's a game from the early 2000s, so we didn't have that back then. Also, more cutscenes.
And since you have learned that our Lord Nobunaga will rule the world with the demons, you should not bark up the wrong tree.
You are insane! What you are doing will lead to innocent people being used as food for the demons.
The strong will prey upon the weak. Farmers obey samurai, and humans obey demons.
You arrogant fool!
Our dark ceremony will take place soon. Princess Yuki's skull will be filled with her own blood. And when our Lord Nobunaga drinks it, the victory of the Oda clan over the Saito clan will be guaranteed! Ah! See you again, Samanosuke!
What a devilish plan. Isn't it? But yeah, you know, it's so villainous to spill out your whole plan to the good guy, isn't it? At least now we know what they're up to. Alright, we can hear you, Mamoru, but we can't actually yet get to them, and these spider demons just like to get in my way for some reason nowadays. Do not like that. Also, let me go ahead and put on the holy armor. Sadly, you can't see the holy armor, but normally Samanosuke would change his red armor for a shiny golden one. But since you have this panda suit on, you won't actually go ahead and see that. This is the second boss of the game. This is Marcellus. He has a nice shield with which he can block all of our attacks. So what I'll try to do here is try to walk around him and hit him from the back while he is trying to attack me. Sadly, that didn't work so well, so we now have to get him again. Okay, 2 hits. We need to get 4 in. So I can force an attack by attacking his shield, but obviously that means that he can also hit me, and yeah, that wasn't a really good fight. Like, he blocked a lot of our attacks. He actually managed to hit me once, but that is, you know, just up to RNG what attacks he will do. He has a couple attacks that he can do. Obviously, we want him to use the one where he just tries and stabs you, because you can just easily walk behind him to hit him. Because he can actually and will block all of your attacks and take no damage with his shield, which is just ludicrous, because, you know, we have the Bishuman sword. We just want to go ahead and hit him to death, but he just didn't let us do that very fast. And with that, we have picked up the last weapon that we can get, the Arashi. And now we can go through all the doors, the blue, red, and the green ones. And since you have the Bishuman sword, we also do not have to upgrade any of these. Because as you might have noticed, there are 3 different kind of souls that you can pick up. The red ones, which are experience, the yellow ones, which replenish your health, and the blue ones, which replenish your magic. Now you need the experience to actually be able to upgrade your swords and your magic, and you would actually have to upgrade your magic to go through these doors, because you might have seen that earlier, but there can be between 1 to 3 of these growths. of any color on these doors. And what that means is if you have magic level 1, you can go through the ones where there is 1 growth on it. You can go through the ones with 2 growths if their magic is level 2. And obviously if you have magic level 3, you can go through the doors which have 3 growths growing on them. If you're playing the any percent category of this game, you obviously would need to pick up more experience to level up your magic to be able to progress through the game. But again, since you have the Bishoman's Sword, we don't have to care about any of that and can go through all the doors unimpeded from the get-go.
Samanosuke.
Let me tell you about the ways of the world, Yamamaru.
Normally there's a really cool cutscene happening here, but this one we can actually skip. So we'll go ahead and do this then.
There are infinite things that we do not understand. There is beauty and freedom all around us. You owe it to yourself and everyone to see these things and then share them with the people of this country. You must help them to understand the absurdity of fighting over such small portions of land on this tiny island.
Help!
Who are you?
My name is Nui. I serve Princess Hatsu. Princess Yuki is underground. Oh!
You alright?
Welcome to early 2000s voice acting, everybody. That wasn't the performance of the century. I don't know what is.
We have little time. I have to find Princess Yuki. You watch over these two.
I will.
But she just comes in, says a couple lines, falls on over, and passes out. That is dedication. That's the wrong way. We gotta go this way. Also, there is something that we like to call residual inputs. What that means is, as I explained earlier, you can control Samanosuke either by the pad or the stick. However, what can sometimes happen is that the inputs you had going on earlier gets saved, kind of. So if I were to use the analog stick to go through one screen and transition into another, and I will switch over to the digipad, the game still retains the direction that I had input on the stick, and that is why sometimes you can just see me flail about when the screen transitions and go into the wrong direction. That is obviously not what I intend to do, but that is just how it is sometimes. Kinda learn to live with it. Doesn't mean that it's very pretty, but well, nothing you can do about it. So we're just gonna come here and pick up this bell. And that triggers the trap here. Oh, actually got hit by that. That's not so good. But as you can see, these things deal a lot of damage to you. I just got hit once there and lost half of my health. So that is not something that you would like to see here. But we got through it. That is the main thing we should be concerned about. Yep. Oh, come on. Let me pass. Sadly, he didn't drop any health for us, but it's okay. We still have enough to get through the next couple sections. Oops. Into the wrong direction there. And then we use the bell to continue onwards. Also, guys, what about jump scares? Do you like jump scares? Because get ready. Get ready. Everybody. Ready. I mean, yeah. This is a kind of medieval Resident Evil. So it gotta have some jump scares, right? And just gotta make our way in here, and this is the first treasure box with 3 inputs instead of 2. So obviously the middle one is the one that you have to start with, right? That is just the law and how these things work. And with that key, we're just gonna make our way back just a little bit. And we'll just come into one of the longest cutscenes in the game. So, Zonris, if you have anything to plug, that would be a really good time to do so.
It would be my pleasure, good sir.
I tried my best.
So, friends, hello. If you don't know already, we're a Benelux Speedrunner gathering, and we organize bi-monthly gatherings in the Benelux for speedrunners. Due to the situation surrounding COVID-19, we are currently doing our events online for the time being. And these events feature streamers from both the Benelux and also the rest of the world, as demonstrated by good Aeshmah here from Germany. And we're also raising money for MIND, which is the nationwide organization committed to prevent mental health issues and to support everyone who is dealing with mental issues themselves or within their families. and all of your donations go directly towards mine. So far, we've raised 1,680 euros for mine, which so far, big thank you for everybody for that. And I'm deeply hoping that we can raise this number just a tiny little bit higher before this marathon ends. For example, the next goal would obviously be just 20 more euros, and we would be at 1,700 euros. That would be quite amazing. And if we want to go just further beyond, we could reach the milestone of 1,857, which was the total amount we raised during BSG Online number 4. So if we could reach that, that would be super awesome. If you want to donate, you can find the link below the stream or in the chat by typing !donate, I believe. If somebody in chat want to help me out, that'd be great. And let's reach 1,700, and after that, surpass 1,857, guys. Come on. I believe in you guys. You can do it.
Yes, absolutely donate for that, guys. I mean, this is the penultimate run of the marathon, you know, so you don't have that much time anymore. But I believe you can do this. Also, if you've been paying attention to this cutscene, you've noticed that I'd say a Samanosuke entered the room and kind of overwhelmed Kaede here. However, if you're playing this game normally, you know, this kind of makes sense because this guy looks exactly like Samanosuke. However, if you've been paying attention to this run, you know that Samanosuke is actually wearing a full-body panda suit. So how Kaede couldn't see the difference between a quote-unquote Samanosuke walking in compared to a full-on panda and still mistake them for the same person, I have absolutely no idea. But I guess that is ninjas for you. Anyway, since Samanosuke is kind of incapacitated at the moment, we actually do get to play as Kaede now. She has a lockpick with which we can open doors that Samanosuke is not able to go through, and that is why we now have access to this area here, where we can go ahead and pick up some more stuff and advance the story, which is kind of convenient. I kind of forgot about this guy. Come on. Yo, just let me through. Also, there's absolutely no reason to fight with Kaede because unlike Samanosuke, she cannot absorb the souls to make you stronger. So you're just fighting enemies for the sake of it. So we just rather walk by all of them. Picking up this wooden gear because we will need it in just a moment. And then we'll be on our merry way. And yes, I've seen the question pop up in chat. You can basically think of this as a medieval or feudal or whatever Resident Evil. So, you know, if you're into Resident Evil, but you're not a fan of guns or you want to try something new, this might be the game for you. Also, so far, sadly, Capcom has not released any remasters of the other games in this series, but yeah, here's hoping. Also, here we will wait for the second oven to spew its flames out, and then we will open the door here. After which we'll make our way across, get a little bit burned along the way, but that's not too bad because we want to get speedy on through here, so we can grab this before the door closes again. Come on, Kate. Ah, God, okay, this was bad. Normally you can make it through here without the door closing again, and then that saves you watching this animation, but I think I got burned a little bit too often on the way there, so I was not able to do that. Actually getting a little bit concerned about my health, which is why I'll pick up some more herbs here and probably use them in just a little while. So this is what we picked up the wooden gear for. We have to insert that here to go through this bookcase because it's a secret entrance. And we will pick up this silver plate, which we will need where we picked up the wooden gear. So we will now make all our way back to where we came from initially. Isn't that just lovely? Making our way through these corridors once more and up the next ladder. Coming up is actually an enemy that we do have to fight with Kaede, the stealth demon, and he's a bit of a problem, let's just put it that way. which is also why we are gonna go ahead and pick up a better weapon for Kaede. Because, you know, she can't face demons with this lowly knife that she's carrying around. We need something with a little bit more oomph behind it, so to speak. Which is why I come up here. Solve another riddle. And then we got this sacred knife, which is a nice upgrade to what we had before. And then I will just go ahead and use an herb, because this fight, as I said before, it can be a little bit stressful if you're not on top of your game. Also, you actually need to pick up this knife, because otherwise you can't go through down here. So it's actually a needed progression item. And hey, look who it is! It's Princess Yuki! How convenient that we finally found her.
Wait a moment. I will help you out.
You are Kaede?
Hmm?
Sanosuke once wrote to me that he journeys with a female ninja, Kaede.
So, you are...
Also, you will notice that Kaede is trying to pick this lock, and in just a moment she will actually trigger a trap that is inside the lock that will harm her.
If only I could leave the castle.
Which is, you know, a nice little touch, because that is actually a thing that happened in this period, you know, putting traps inside these locks, so you can't just be forced open, so you actually have to use the proper key. Yeah, just like that. And now watch the sweet Princess Yuki using an absolute cardboard of a paper to wipe away the blood on Kaede's cheek there. Like, that is one hard handkerchief, lady.
I will save you.
No, you won't.
And it goes back.
You can die here alone.
Princess Yuki! Princess
I think he's missing a laugh here, isn't he? So yeah, this is Stealth Demon. He is an absolute pain to fight. So what you can try and do here is use an instant kill on him. However, it is very hard to perform. You can only trigger it on a very specific attack on him anyway. No, he didn't actually do the attack there. So I will rather just fight him normally. This will lose quite a bit of time, as you can see. That is the attack that can use it on, when he just, you know, jumps out of the ground and uses his whip to try and hit you. So what you do is you do the flip attack with Kaede, which you do by holding R1 and then pressing up and square at the same time when an enemy tries to attack you, which makes Kaede flip over him. And then you press another button and backwards in order to execute the instant kill. It's a very messy way to do. It fails so often, but it makes this fight go by in a flash. So, you know, if you're gunning for a world record, you would have to do it. But since this is the marathon one, I just opt to do the slower but safer strategy, because it can you lose a lot of health, you know, if he hits you with that attack and you mess up. So that is why we're not trying to do that. But yeah, we got through it unscathed, so that's pretty good. And now we are back with our big old panda here. And since he is low on health as well, I'll just go ahead and pick up another safety medicine, because we have another boss fight coming up. And this will be against Stylado. You may have seen this guy before. Because, you know, he looks exactly like us. Question chat, who is the real Samanosuke? Press 1 for the panda, press 2 for the red one. Who is the real one? And that was an absolute beauty of a fight. Like, you only need 2 of the Bishamon Sword's magic attacks to get rid of Stylado. The first one is 3, as long as you do it immediately at the start of the fight. However, for the second one, you have to, you know, dance around him just a little bit here. But what Stylado decided to do was use his magic attack, and that leaves him wide open. And so I was just immediately able to finish that fight off. I picked up the souls there from him, not because I need the souls per se, but just because to grab the health regeneration as well, because I was kind of low and I do want to try and conserve my safety medicines for a little bit later in the run. And that is why I took a moment to absorb these souls there. But with that out of the way, we now have one half of the evil plate that we can use to gain access to yet another part of the castle here. And that is what I meant earlier. I did not face the door head on. That is why I could not use the quest item here. So I had to back out of the menu, correct my positioning, and come through here. And it seems like, you know, chat is a little bit split between the Panda and Starlado, who's the real one. So, well, maybe there's hope for a Kunoichi career for you guys. Who knows? So this is actually the entrance into the demon realm. It is guarded by this floating eye thing. And we now have to find the means to get through there, because in the cutscene that we just skipped, Yurimaru has been kidnapped and brought into there. So obviously, you know, we think that Princess Yuki is in there as well, but we can't enter. So we have to find the means to do so. Luckily for us, if you remember, Kaede opened up the west section of the castle for us with her lockpick. So that is where we are headed, to find some more quest items to gain us even further access into other areas of the castle. And these enemy spawns, like, holy crap, dude. They are just bodying me right now. And this is what I meant by residual inputs, because I was actually pressing up on the D-pad to walk straight across, but for whatever reason, Samanosuke just decided to spaz out. And so I had to turn around and switch to the analog stick again. And since movement in this particular category is pretty important, because as you saw, we basically, you know, go through all the battles like really quickly. It all comes down to proper movement. This can just save, rather lose you seconds. So it's not something that you want to see. But yeah, we're making our way into this backyard here, where we'll pick them. Once again, Samanosuke, what is the matter with you today? I guess, you know, he just really likes to show off what can go wrong doing a run like this. But luckily we don't have to fight any of these, we just have to go here and pick up this sword, which is actually just a quest item. You cannot really use it. And then we're out again, because we do not have to fight any of these guys. So lock the arrows, pick up yet another medicine just as a precaution. And now we have to go all the way back, because the only thing that we needed from here was the decorated sword, which will actually open up the east side of the castle to us, where hopefully we can find something to open our way into the demon realm. So like I said, normally you would have to fight all, well, not all of these enemies, but a good bunch of them to gain enough experience to level up your magic, so you can actually proceed through all these blocked doors. But again, since you have the Bishaman sword, which is basically the ultimate weapon, we can just decide to not do that, because we don't need to. We can open every single magic door with it, no questions asked. We just have to make sure that we actually have like equipped, because if I were to go ahead and equip, say, the Kuan, the fire sword, in order to open a red door, that wouldn't actually work. Well, it would work for the doors that have only one grove on them, but not for any of the doors that have 2 or 3 groves on them, because, you know, the magic level wouldn't be high enough so I could actually go through there. It only works with the Bishaman sword. But, you know, since we don't want to use any other weapon anyway, because it's just so goddamn powerful, I don't care as much. But as you can probably also guess, if you were to, or if you want to learn this run, or this game in particular, this is a very good category to start out with, because you can really just concentrate on, you know, getting through the game. Because, yeah, you know, all the fights are pretty easy with the Bishaman sword. You can learn some of the basic strategies that you need to get through at least the boss fights, but you don't have to worry about any experience thresholds or upgrading your stuff or whatever. You can just really focus on the movement and where you need to go at any particular time in order to progress. So this is a very beginner-friendly category, I want to say. And here we'll make our way to this lovely pagoda out in the lake. Very lovely place. But I will actually go ahead and switch to another weapon. And why I do that, you will see in a bit. It takes a while to get there. But yeah, we'll just go ahead and pick up this very lovely great bow. A very important quest item. However, obviously we'll get trapped inside here. Because reasons, I suppose. So you know what that means, right? Samanosuke is trapped. What are we gonna do? Well, obviously, we'll switch control over to Kaede in just a moment because she has to get us out of here. Now what I would try to do here is actually to flip over these Hekubites, as they're called. You know, these ant-like or insect-like creatures, rather. And you do the flip by pressing forward R1 and square while an enemy is attacking you. That makes Kaede just flip over the enemy so I don't actually have to fight these. Just like that. And as you can imagine, it is easier to do this than to fight these guys. You need about 5 hits of your dagger in order to stagger them, so you can actually continue. And this is just a little bit quicker to do. Again, there is no reason whatsoever to fight anything with Kaede. You just have to go by and, you know, do whatever it needs to be doing. So we'll just quickly continue. And if you've been paying attention, this is basically the area that we just passed through with Samanosuke. However, our paths will split here once again, as we do have a lockpick, so we can go through this door in order to get to yet another part of the castle. Just passing through all of these guys, absolutely no problem. Mistimed it just a little bit. You can try and hit that guy, so he doesn't fire his arrow at you. Did not pick up the fluoride for once here. Augers. Oh, look at that, I actually have the codes memorized this time. So apparently I don't need my notes anymore, that's good to know. So now we got the decorated arrow. It's not the great arrow, we don't have that one yet. But we will in just a moment. Because we have to do an alt switcheroo by picking up the great arrow, which will lock the door. And then we have to put up the decorated arrow, very important. Because not only will that unlock the door again, we'll also unlock this chest. And we do need the contents of that chest because it holds the green key. And we need that key in order to progress with Kaede. Ah, come on. He really hit me, huh? How rude of him. So sometimes you can't just run by past this archer and he doesn't hit you. Sometimes he hits you. Well, you can opt to try and block the arrow, which also works, but obviously it will save you time if you can just bypass him without him hitting you. And now also Kaede goes to the pagoda where Samanosuke is trapped in order to free him. How nice. Let's see if she finds a way to actually free our trapped samurai here.
What? Samanosuke! A monster's coming! Watch out!
I knew you would come. You are so impressive for a mere human. But you are late. Our dark ceremony is starting. Yumomaru will be sacrificed in front of Princess Yuki.
No!
Princess Yuki cherishes Yumomaru. If he is sacrificed in front of her, her sorrow will peak. making her blood its most
So this
delicious
Hekoba,
and strongest.
she has a bad case of story exposition because she basically spoils the whole demonic plan that is going on here.
You will suffer for that.
And yes, we will make her suffer for spilling the beans.
Consume that.
Because there's one more thing that Ultimate Mode does. It actually gives you unlimited magic. Because we watch the green bar beneath my health, it doesn't decrease. So I can just go ahead, use Arashi and this magic attack to just basically bully Hekoba into death. Which is pretty nice. Makes this fight a cakewalk, to be fair. Now you could try and switch to the Bishaman sword between these hits to try and hit her because, you know, obviously the Bishaman sword does more damage than the Arashi. It is very finicky though, and if Hekoba managed to get out of the stun lock that we put her in, this fight can actually be a little bit dicey. So it's just a really safe option to just spam the Arashi magic over and over to get through that fight. And yeah, this was probably the most awesome protagonist running away from an enemy montage you've ever seen, right? The suspense. The explosions. It's not even the end of the game yet. We've already have explosions. What kind of Resident Evil game is this?
Huh? Kaede. Hang on, Kaede.
So apparently Kaede isn't looking so good. So Samanosuke decides to do the sensible thing, which is to bring her here and leave her completely defenseless in this demon-infested castle while we go off ahead and, you know, finish the fight. As it were. Because now that we have the Great Bow and the Great Arrow, we can enter the realm of demons.
This nightmare must end. Now! Princess Yuki, Unimaru, I will save you.
Alright, and with this riveting speech, it is now off to the final area of the game, actually. We are approaching the end of this game really, really fast. So we just come back here, you know, where we had been barred entry before. And then force our way into the demon realm with a very, very well-aimed arrow to the eye, I guess. I mean, look at those hands. The arrow even goes through his head. He doesn't even look in the right direction. I mean, he's a blind archer par excellence. Let's just call it that. Alright, barrier out of the way. Let's enter the demon realm. Alright, look who it is.
You pathetic human worm. Impressive you've come this far, but ultimately futile since your journey ends here. Only demons can enter.
Oh, about that, Gillenstern.
Why don't you go back to playing with your worthless little toys?
Keep that in mind.
I have no
Only
time for
demons
you.
can enter here.
What did you say? How dare you? A mere human mock me? Fine then. It's time for you to fight my greatest creation! Come, Marcellus!
So this is another boss fight. So this is Marcellus 2. He basically works the same way as before, so he has his shield again. But this time we can actually destroy it. In order to do that, we have to hit him 2 times. So once again, I will try to walk by him to dodge his attack and hit him, which... Okay, 1, 2, okay, shield is gone. Now I have to hit him 3 more times while he has 2 swords. I want to try and back him against the corner just like that. And if I hit him 3 times, well, maybe 4. What the hell is going on here? The fight's done. Looks really easy, but let me tell you, this can be an absolute pain to do. Because as you saw there for just a moment, Marcellus gained this backdash, which just makes it so that he can basically dash all over the arena. And it can lose you a lot of time if he starts doing that. And if he actually starts to attack you, well, it's even worse. That fight is also a proper nightmare if you're playing the any percent category of the game. It's one of the hardest fights to get through, so... but, you know, once again, Bishoman's Sword, it has been created to fight demons, and it does that job very admirably. With all that out of the way, we'll just make our way down this spiral staircase into the very last fight of the game. So, yeah, this run will be done in just, well, maybe 3 minutes or so, I want to say. Not that much longer to go. I will just make sure to grab a couple more medicines just for the heck of it. Because, you know, it is the last boss coming up. And this will be the fight against Fortinbras, the Lord of the Demons. No! This fight can be really tricky because Fortinbras has a vast arsenal of moves that he can do to you. He can shoot out some energy balls, which will float around in the air and shoot lightning down, which are very, very dangerous because they can hit you twice, which nearly depletes all of your health. He can do a flame breath attack, which we actually want to see because it has such a long wind-up that we can just keep on attacking him in order to deal damage. Also, as long as I attack his body, he doesn't take any damage. It just makes it so that after a while, he will lower his head, and attacking the head deals actual damage to him. Furthermore, he can try and hit me with his hands. You can just block that or walk out of that. It isn't that bad. Or he can grab you in his hand, bring you to his mouth, and instantly kill you with a breath attack if you're not careful. So here we go. He starts off with this is pretty good, so there goes the first hit. That was 1 damage per se. Then just hit his tail in order to make him calm down. Hit him again while we dodge the lightning. It's pretty good. Does the orbs again. Sometimes there is a gap that you can use when he summons the orbs to keep attacking him, which is always pretty nice. Then we dodge just this attack. Hit him again. He wanted to do the eye laser, which you can also do, but we just didn't let him do that. And this is the thing that I was talking about. If I just don't keep on mashing buttons, this is an instant kill. It also loses you a lot of time, as you saw there, because of all the animations going on, but yeah, you just have to mash buttons, otherwise you're dead. Doesn't matter how much health you have, he just kills you. No questions asked. And here I got hit twice by the lightning orb, so I will just take ahead, use a medicine, so I don't die to another attack that might hit me. But all in all, I'm just being very aggressive here in order to get through this fight kind of fast. I mean, we have the safety medicines, I have the holy armor equipped, so this shouldn't be too dangerous, everything considered. And yeah, we'll just keep hitting him. And time will be on the last hit, so get ready for that, because I think we only have 4 more hits to go through or something. I wasn't counting, so I don't know. Oh, time! That's time! That was quicker than I thought it would be. Alright. Also, I guess we deserved watching this cutscene here, because there's one more trick that Samanosuke has up his sleeve. Because remember when Guildenstern said that only demons can enter the demon realm? Well, you know, the only gauntlet that we got from the Clan of Ogres has one more trick up its sleeve. Because as it turns out, we haven't really defeated Fortinbras just yet. Yeah, it did still have a little bit of life left in him, and he will use that to kill us. Or at least he will try. And just a little blood on the gauntlet. We have now unleashed the true power of the Oni. We are now looking like a slamming superhero with a real nice sword. I will now make short work of our adversary here. Stabby, stab, stab. Nice attention to detail, you know, watch the eyes. It's like... I don't know, but I just love when they pop out of his head like that. It's very gruesome, but it's also kind of funny, I want to say, in a way, if you watch it closely. But yeah, it turns out we win. But it's not over yet. Because if you remember... You know, Lord Nobunaga is still alive, so this tale is far from over. I mean, there's a reason why there are 3 more games in the main line of this series, right? Anyway, guys, that's it. That was the run of Onimusha Warlords. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the English voice acting. I know that Bowie wasn't with me this time, sadly, but, you know, it gave us a chance to show this off. Thank you to the not the Ghost of Tsushima community. It's a game I normally run, so I'm just used to saying that. No, thank you to the Onimusha community. And obviously to the organizers for having me here showing off Onimusha. This was the penultimate run of the marathon, so I actually got to close out the samurai block, I want to say, you know, with Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, and we just saw Sekiri, Shadows Die Twice, and now Onimusha. And now, everyone, it is time for the last run of BSG 07. With Diddy's Conquest 2, or Donkey Country 2, Diddy's Conquest in the 102% category. So I hope you are hyped for that. Let's go ahead and smash that $2,000 barrier. And that's it from me, everyone. Hope to see you soon again.
Wow, okay. Next time, by the way, feel free to sign up as host, because you basically did all of my job.
Well, I mean, I can try and do that.
Well, yeah, as Aeshmah just mentioned. Before we go, though, we got a €20 donation, which brings us to the 1,700 total I was speaking of. So that is very poggers. And this €20 comes from the one and only Killer Chair, saying, I like €1,700. It's a nice number. And absolutely, it is very indeed a nice number. But chat, I'm insisting you to destroy this very nice looking number in the name of charity. It looks nice, but any donation will make it not look so nice. So get on that. And while you get that sorted out, yeah, we're setting up the next run and the final run, as mentioned. It's going to be Donkey Kong Country, Diddy Kong's Quest, that way around, by Ryan Ford. So stick with us.
Names are hard.
True. Stick with us. We will be with you again after these short few messages.
See ya.